Are you a walking red flag? Today, we're not gonna lie.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of NGL where we talk about the things in life that matter. I'm Nata.
I'm Zel.
And Weiyeat.
And today we're here to talk about our favorite topic, relationships. You know, we know it's your favorite topic because every time the view counts are much higher. So do your job for this episode as well and boost our view count.
Thank you in
and
advance.
subscribe to our channel. But yeah, today we're here, right, to talk about relationships and specifically red flags and green flags.
Yeah, this is really interesting because I just met a friend not too long ago, and she just came out of a relationship of about 1.5 years. And when we were talking about it, right, we both realized that there were some warning signs at the beginning of the relationship that we were like, okay, it's areas of concerns, but maybe we don't have to do much about it now. But then we realized that those were the exact things that like raised the alarm bells towards the end. Yeah, so I thought like, hey, you know what? Actually, when we go into relationships, right, we might see like certain areas that we're like not very sure about, but then we just like continue and all that. So we're thinking that actually it will be good if we can talk about, what are red flags, green flags, what do they even mean? And maybe when we enter relationships, right, we will be a little bit more like eyes wide open.
It's true. There's actually this BoJack Horseman quote. It says, when you wear rose-coloured lenses, all the red flags just look like flags.
Ooh.
So wise, right?
Yeah.
But I think that's pretty true. So today, hopefully through our conversation, we are removing our rose-tinted lenses a little bit so that we're able to see things a little bit more clearly.
Can see more things in colour.
We just want to give a disclaimer that number one, we are not love gurus. We are just all happily married to spouses.
Humble man.
Yeah, we try our best.
Yeah.
But then also, I think today what we're going to do, right, is that we're probably not going to discuss like the very obvious red flags.
Yeah.
So, if you do a quick search on Google, there are typically like the same few things that come up when you talk about red flags in relationship. Things like, like maybe violence, things like different forms of abuse and
Stalking.
manipulation. Those are definitely areas of concern. But today we kind of want to take it to a more personal level and share what to
things
us are red flags and green flags.
And it might actually differ from people to people, which
It's
is the
true.
interesting part.
It's true.
So to prepare for this episode, we asked the internet, or rather we went online to see what are some examples.
Scoured the depths of the internet.
Yes, actually we only went to Reddit to see
the internet
what
already.
people think are green and red flags in a relationship. Okay, so
Okay.
I'm going to read
Let's go.
some out for us. The first one, she skipped work just to meet me. Green flag.
Huh?
Red flag.
Yeah, dude, why are you skipping work, man?
Yeah.
How old are you?
Are you even financially stable? Skip work then kena sack how?
Yeah, oh my gosh, I think it's like last time, when you're like in
It's a
secondary
Taiwan
school.
drama.
Yeah, it's like the person like take the risk just so that they can spend time with you. It's a very romanticized kind of thing lah.
You want long-term relationship? Long-term relationship need money. Money need to go to work. So
Okay, wait. But if you take leave to meet me, sure. But if
skip
you
work.
on work,
Yeah.
then there's a issue of like no regard
Okay, we are saying this
for
because we have very good work ethics.
Yeah.
Remember
Yes,
our
boss.
bosses? Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
promote.
Next, openly admitting they still have feelings for their ex. Red flag. Of course.
Yeah.
lah.
Red flag.
Dude, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. This
Red
is
flag.
Don't settle, girls. Don't settle.
yeah.
Okay, but I understand why some people will not think that it's red flag.
Why?
Why?
They will think that, it is being honest with me. But no, you got feelings for other people, then red flag.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
it's
you
like
can
the-
be honest, but know your worth. You deserve somebody loving you wholeheartedly and not just half-heartedly.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
share with another
So
person.
it's a bit like, thank you for your honesty, but we should not start anything.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. He doesn't text back within a minute, even after being online. This person says it's a red flag. In this day and age, even on the aeroplane, right, you can still be online.
Like Wi-Fi zone, no Wi-Fi zone. Then GG, girlfriend break up with you.
This message is not sent, but online.
Like, you cannot say.
That's a shag bro moment.
Yes, just sway.
Oh
No
man.
lah, not red flag lah.
Too early to say that it's red flag already. Maybe the person really working when work on WhatsApp.
I think the expectation for your partner to respond within a minute is a little bit of a red flag.
Yeah, but okay lah. But the context is when the person is online.
Maybe he's online cause his laptop is open, but maybe he go
He
toilet.
go and toilet. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so,
going toilet without a phone is a green flag.
Yes. Okay, last one. Guy appears offline to play his game with his friends so that his girlfriend will think he's asleep.
Wow.
I can't say red flag. I empathize.
You do before?
But I can't say
Really?
that. No, I don't need to appear
As
offline.
you
online.
empathize with this person.
Like,
huh?
I understand why he will do that. Like, I speaking
Oh,
for
you-
the
you
bros here.
empathize with
Bros,
the
you can
guy,
thank me later.
not the girl.
No, I empathize with the guy because like sometimes you just don't want to fight the battle. Like, okay, I want to play my game, but maybe my girl don't want me to play game.
Yeah, if not, it
right?
becomes the previous scenario.
Yeah, so it's like I have to appear offline, but I understand why he will do that because it doesn't harm anybody. Or like, okay, I'm just not sleeping. I didn't affect my date with her. Eventually, the next day, I still appear fresh with 5 cups of coffee. You know, so I think no
Wow,
one is being
you have
hurt.
great belief in this guy.
I have great belief in coffee.
Okay, but I think I can empathize with the girl actually. Because, like, I mean, if you want to play game with your friends, you just say lah.
But if you say no,
But why must appear
if the girl say
offline, leh?
cannot, I don't like to play game. You should sleep. 8 hours. Then you have this kind of expectation on you.
As the wife of a gamer,
Yes.
这样
I thought.
last time we got this arrangement. Even in the talking stage, the minute he stopped replying me for quite a while, I know, confirm Dota. I just wait 45 minutes.
Oh, so will you ever, like, do you ever get annoyed?
No.
Especially if you all have.
Because
like,
I know what I got myself into.
Wow, so understanding
No, so that's the thing.
No wonder he marry you.
Brian.
Yeah,
good
if you
catch.
really hate gamers so much, then don't date a gamer.
Exactly.
But if you date a gamer,
wow.
then you have to accept that he's a gamer. What cannot be me, you, then his whole life changed, right?
Yeah.
Cannot play any game at
It
all.
can, and some games I realize cannot pause one.
Cannot, Dota cannot. I tried a lot of times already.
And then if you force the guy to stop the game, he will actually lose all his friends. So maybe don't do
There's
that.
a lot at stake.
Are you ready to be his only friend? If you are not, let him game.
Yeah, I
If
don't
you
think.
are, you are a red flag.
Yeah, I don't think that guy will be your only friend because you don't game. So
Precisely.
Mm.
But yeah.
I like how we are so passionate about this topic.
okay,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
think
Some gaming
honesty in a relationship is very important.
It's true. Just talk about it lah. Don't need to pretend and then after that feel scared that
don't
you
need
cannot
to
caught.
appear offline lah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, but to the girls,
not the above reproach method.
I have learned that it's helpful to let the men have some space for their hobbies, and unfortunately, their hobbies is gaming.
Yeah, their hobby is not just only you.
Yeah, and then they say it's bonding time with their friends, so I just accept and then sit outside and use my phone.
You let us game, we let you shop.
Good deal.
Good deal. Okay, so those are the internet's red flags and green flags. How about ours?
Weiyeat, what to you is the definition of a red flag?
Okay, so I googled before. Red flags are warning signs that indicate a toxic and harmful relationship.
Of the other person.
Mm.
Things that you observe.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like maybe in traffic light terms, it's like a stop lah.
Yeah.
Don't
So
come near.
red means stop, green means go.
All right.
Okay,
so
so
if
that
you
means
see
red
green
flags,
flags, go
yeah,
for
so
it.
green flags will be traits that indicate a healthy relationship.
So, what to y'all are red flags?
I don't go first, you go first. Let me think.
I already have in mind. So
Okay.
someone who's already in a relationship, right? But is still on dating apps.
Damn,
red
that one's
flag.
super red flag.
Yeah, super. Because I was talking to my friend, right? So that was one of like the early warning signs that she found out about like her ex. Yeah, and
Did she confront him at the start?
yeah, she did. And but the guy was like, oh, like he just say, oh, I don't know why it's on. Maybe because like I go to different country, then it suddenly like change the locations. I don't know, like, a lot of like excuses. But I can see why it's a red flag. I think it will be a red flag to me as well. It just signifies that you are still on the lookout.
Still looking.
Yeah, lor.
Yeah, like maybe
settling.
maybe you're not sure
Still on
about
the
the
market.
current relationship. Yeah, which is so strange. Like because people who are on dating apps obviously are there to meet people, right?
Yeah.
And there is that like open and clear intention already. But why are you doing that when you are already attached?
Sus. Damn
Yeah,
sus.
unless okay, then you have to say lah, like, is it you're still not sure about this relationship, you know? And then that to me is also like a red flag already.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's
Fair
for me.
enough.
Okay, I know mine. I think when the person cannot take ownership of their contribution to the problem.
Ooh, that's a good
Yeah.
one. Yep.
I feel because the nature of relationships, right, especially if you go long term, there's definitely gonna be disagreements or some misunderstandings here and there lah,
For
that you
sure.
kind of have to clear up, right? And I find that it would be extremely unproductive and difficult to have a conversation if one party is not willing to kind of like look within themselves to see whether they have contributed to the problem. I mean, as married people, you probably agree that most of the time it takes two hands to clap lah. Even if it's 99% and 1%, you have a bit of the 1%.
Yeah,
you know?
you own that 1%.
Yeah, so
Mm.
I've also seen like scenarios in friendships or even my own experience where like it's very hard to talk to a person who perhaps like has a bit of like a victim mentality or tends to be a bit more finger pointing lah. That whenever there's a problem, it's because you disappointed me, you didn't meet my expectations, you this, you that, you this, you that. But then when it's kind of like put back on them and like invite them to reconsider whether they have done anything, they're like, nope. Like I have done all that I can to try and make the situation better, but you never reciprocate. So I just find that I can't deal with that. I find it's very difficult lah to imagine like a future with a person like that.
Yep.
Supposed to be a partnership, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Agree.
I have mine.
Yes.
So, people who cannot argue constructively but always start arguments. So it's like if girls, right, they really like they argue already, they start a conversation, then they debate about certain things, right? Then midway through the argument, right, you argue back lah, like okay, the person angry at you, then you argue back logically. Then after that, the person cannot accept, right? Then because of my way of like arguing back, the tone was not to her satisfaction. Then after that, eventually she was like
pent-up
angry, she
resentment.
cried. Then she cried, then the conversation ended, the
GG.
argument ended already. It becomes my fault because my tone is bad. So I think that is a red flag. Like cannot argue constructively, but always initiate fights, right? And then every time I feel that it's a losing battle lah.
The starting point and the ending point must be the same topic lah.
Yeah,
The end point suddenly becomes
exactly. It's like I start on one conversation, right? Like angry about this thing. Like okay, then I talk about this thing. Then my tone bad, right? Then it becomes a different thing. It becomes my tone. Then why you always speak like that? Then after that she will be angry. Then after that it ends with like sorry. But sorry not because of the topic earlier, but it's because I speak in
You
that
said
tone.
something that
Then the
way.
first problem never resolve.
How okay, so like after you say sorry for your tone, right? Can go back to first topic or usually cannot already?
Cannot already, over already. So
Why?
it's like
Cannot,
angry
yeah.
already,
Need to let the person cry
emotionally
finish.
invested in the second problem already. So I feel that in itself is like red flag. Like you
It's not
cannot
constructive, is
not
it?
constructive. You cannot fight constructively, but you always initiate fight. Then it's very tiring.
Wow, this is a lot of couples fights.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. I can understand why. Cause like I think because you will feel very bad. And,
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, you don't want the girl to feel bad lah. But yeah, I think I guess it's quite frustrating because you didn't manage to
lah.
solve
Yeah.
the initial problem,
Yeah.
and you have no idea when it will rear its ugly head again.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah. Not solved, then it's a new landmine. that
Catch
you
her on
have
a good
to
day after
figure
that.
out.
Yeah. Then say sorry, buy ice cream.
Buy ice cream.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's red flags lah. How about green flags to you? I guess in that traffic light idea, then green flag is like go for it, right? Like these are good signs that it could lead to like a healthy relationship. And let's not say friendship lah, like specifically romantic relationship. What to
Romantic
you
relationship.
are green flags?
It's the opposite of your red flag. A person that is willing to take ownership of their part. And I guess also a bit like what Weiyeat share about being able to talk things out.
Yeah.
Yeah, rather than cry your way through to win the argument. I mean, even from speaking personally, right? I won't officially be together with someone until like there is something that shows this side of it. But it could be something very okay, it doesn't have to take a crisis.
Okay,
Yeah, but it could be something as simple as maybe punctuality, for example. It's like maybe if the person was a little bit late, right? I think just being open to talk about why and like to ask, oh, like how did it affect you? Is it can show, right? Like whether that person
It's
is
true, it's
willing to
true.
understand from your point of
Like,
view.
are you overly defensive or are you willing to consider?
or
lah?
you say like, the MRT lah, the woman in front of me walk so slow. Yeah, so it's like you can tell.
Right.
Yeah, through these small things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Weiyeat leh?
My green flag very superficial. Okay, maybe not. Okay, so I think one of the green flag, oddly specific, is someone who will buy tissue from the tissue auntie, even though you don't need tissue.
Aww.
That's so sweet, right? That's like I'm not buying the tissue for myself, but it's for the auntie. They're like, wow, that's so sweet and kind. And I think it speaks a lot about the person's character.
So when you open, like the person opened the bag, there are a lot of tissue.
Must have at least 20. No,
Weiyeat's wife back inside got 25 packets all the time.
I tell one of my friends before last time, like, if you run out of tissue packet, you run out of compassion.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Wise, right? I think so.
Hurry up, go the Pasir Ris MRT, find the auntie now.
Wow. Now I think of all the times that I ignore the man
piao.
at my MRT there.
So I see someone do that and I'm like, wow, very sweet. This person is a good person.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, one
Then how
of my
about you?
green flags, I think when the person is polite to mother.
Father,
Your
leh?
horse?
Mother. Must be mother only.
I feel mother leh.
His
because
mom?
mother.
Oh, really?
No, really, let me explain.
His
because
mom
right,
or your mom or all moms?
his mother.
Oh, okay.
Because right, I find that 90% of mothers are a bit naggy. And so how you respond to your mother when you live with her every day and like sometimes when she's just breathing down your neck and like there's also a shared history of the many other times she's breathed down your neck and made you feel a certain way. But how you consistently respond to your mother, I feel is quite telling of who you are as a person.
Oh,
Yeah.
so a man of great patience.
Yeah, and I feel how you talk to your mother now is how you talk to your wife next time. When your wife becomes that woman who nags at you and breathes down your neck sometimes.
So do you do that in your marriage?
Yeah, maybe
Can you
sometimes
nag
I
and
test
Brian?
Brian. I just like purposely nag him more to test him. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Ah, emotionally.
but this was
Manipulative.
Walking red flag.
That's a red flag too.
No, but this was actually a conversation we had when we first got married. Because I told him like I feel sometimes at home because we're so comfortable, our reactions to our parents are our most instinctive. And actually,
True,
I feel it
true.
is your truer self.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's how you're like when you're frustrated,
Correct.
when
And
you're
then as a
impatient.
romantic partner, you would spend many years
Yeah.
living together.
It's like I'm very realistic. I know that now maybe we just got married, you love me and you think I'm awesome, right? Like 20, 30 years later of living together, I bet you're not gonna wake up every single day and think the world of me. So how you respond to your mother today is how you will respond to me next time.
I love you,
Yeah.
mom.
Green flag, green flag, green flag.
I love your mother.
Mommy, I
Mother.
also. Just to clarify.
So every time like the mom call, guys, just I pick up. Yeah.
Mm.
No, okay, no.
Okay. Is your mother haven't do anything, she call you, then you what?
做么？打给我做
Yeah, like
么？
must
跟你
like that
讲完
meh?
meeting
Very hard
啊
to say
Suck your
hello,
mother,
meh?
ah.
Yeah. But
Very
so
rude.
okay lah, but this is a very specific thing lah to me. I feel
But it's fair. I
maybe
think
not
it's
everybody
fair.
thinks that way.
I think
Yeah.
it's fair.
So that's also
Yeah.
the thing about red flag, green flags, right? I mean, at the start of the episode, we said that there are some, I guess, red flags that people would generally consider universal. I think when we were doing a bit of like a Google search before this episode, the things that came up were like your physical, emotional well-being is compromised, or things
Yeah.
like this
Yep.
person cuts you off from all the other important
People.
relationships in your life. So
Mm.
generally, that seems like there are some universal red flags.
Mm.
But then, right, I read on a Reddit thread that sometimes we've come to a place where perhaps we throw around the term red flag a little bit too loosely.
Mhm.
What was supposed to be kind of like a universal stop sign that like, okay, this is dangerous, stay away from this person, right? Now actually becomes a very broad term that we use sometimes to simply talk about our preferences.
I think there's some truth to that because okay, sometimes I feel what we say are red flags could be also from our past experiences with
Yeah.
failed relationships,
Okay.
which then becomes signs for us to, faster get out, like yeet
It's like
out of
once
there.
bitten, twice shy.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
exactly. Or maybe it comes from how we see relationships around us also. And then we say like, wow, like I cannot deal with this kind of thing. Yeah, but at the same time, there are also certain, like what you said, preferences or maybe even things that boil down to what we feel works for us for long-term relationships, especially if you talk about marriage, right? Like things maybe like communication is more important to some people as compared to maybe things like hobbies. So quite interesting. So like there was one time, right, I was seeing this guy and then like we had dinner, right? When I ordered the drink, right? Then like his face suddenly changed. Yeah, like he looked very uncomfortable. So I asked him like, oh, like is something wrong? Then after that, he said that actually he didn't really think that I would like drink alcohol. Yeah, and I was like, what? Like isn't
What's
this
wrong?
very normal? I mean, like, I drink with my friends, I drink with when you have a good time, when you feel relaxed, yeah, that's something like I would do lah. We had a good conversation about it. He said that because his dad was an alcoholic and it kind of like really destroyed his family, and it was just something that he didn't really want to see in like his future family also. Yeah, but he also in the end like did say that it was something that he was still trying to process. Yeah, so he also didn't really come to a conclusion himself on whether his partner is someone that should also hold that same like value as him or not.
Yep.
Yeah, so that was like, I think that is an example of like something that it's not just a turn off also, right? But it's something that you would kind of project into your future relationship to see whether this is something that you can live with or not.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Personally, I think that the difference between red flag and preference is if I were to, I was thinking about example like how would I consider as a preference. I think one of it which we could maybe agree is that maybe a preference may be whether the person is likes kids or not, like want to have kids. Then I would prefer someone to have kids, but if someone who don't like kids, I wouldn't consider the person as a red flag.
No,
right?
Because based on your definition, it is behaviors that might lead to a toxic
yes, exactly.
relationship.
Right.
So I think that preference is like, it's neither green nor red, but it is a preference.
Because I feel sometimes like a conversation on red flags, right? I feel can be borderline intolerant.
Okay.
There are times where people can become quite absolute or become quite, to some degree, even a bit condemning. Hey, this person is like that, wow, you better just stay away and like don't even go near. And to some degree, I feel, I wonder whether there's room to consider giving people second chances or even just an opportunity to know a person beyond that superficial thing that you saw. So for example, even if in the case of a service staff, right, maybe a person like was rude to a service staff and you were having a meal with him when it happened, would your response be to immediately write this person off because of that one incident? Or is there room to actually consider like, is there room for you to be a work in progress? Can we talk about it? So
because it could be a person's blind spot also. Like maybe that person doesn't know that it's a problem, right? But like when the other person talks about it, and then how that person responds when it's pointed out, that to me is more important. So the red flag can change color also.
Become amber.
Become amber. Go slow, don't go fast. Don't need to stop.
Yeah.
But if the
people,
person is like die like you tell me already like that, wow, they are supposed to serve us. Customer is always right. Then that is something like
upgrade to
flag
banner.
Become banner already. Correct. So I think that it's right.
I feel there's room to consider that different people can have different opinions when it comes to what are red flags. To me, where I stand is that I feel then perhaps it would be kinder to not kind of impose your opinion as the gold standard lah. And anybody that kind of falls short from that standard that you hold, right? Wow, all red flag, confirm absolute red flag. If ever you get together with somebody like that, wow, I think you crazy. You never think, why would you consider a person like that? Because if you're not careful, the conversation can become quite like that.
Yeah, I feel like maybe it's a bit, if the term itself, this person is a walking red flag, it's very
mean,
absurd. Yeah, I think like especially if let's say we go by the definition that what is red flag to you could be different to another person, but then you say that my ex is a walking red flag, right? Then it will give other people the impression that this person is just not a good person at all. Yeah, but actually maybe what ended that relationship for you was more of a preference thing. Right.
In some cases lah.
In some cases. So maybe the sentence, this person's a walking red flag, maybe that's something that I personally wouldn't like put on anyone. Like I would see traits as traits, but one or two traits doesn't make up an entire person. Like that's what I think.
I actually had this experience with a friend. So we were like having dinner together as a group, right? So imagine it's a very hot place, it's very noisy because everybody's there, right? Then the auntie was extra rude lah that day, honestly. So like whenever she came to our table, she always like tuk, then like don't really want to tell her order. Then she kind of like
cannot mess with this kind of auntie.
Yeah, she snapped at my friend a little bit. So by the time she actually came to properly take our order, I think my friend was like maximum pissed off. So he was a bit rude lah to her. Like he kind of like was a bit snarky in the way he asked her some questions. Then the way he looked at her when she answered him also a bit like shooting daggers. So it was a bit tense on the table because we could tell my friend was pissed off and like we didn't really know how to handle it also, because I think we felt he was a bit too rude lah. So eventually when our food came and all right, then our friend was very silent for the whole dinner. I think because actually he felt very bad for doing that. Then that night he actually sent a text into the whole group to say, hey guys, I thought more about that moment and like I'm not proud of it lah. Like I actually feel like shouldn't have done that and I'm sorry that you guys had to see that. Yeah. And that's where I felt like, wow, number one, I respect you for taking ownership of
Green
that.
flag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you see, so this is a moment where what could have looked like a red flag and you could have just written this person off because he was rude to the auntie, right? Actually turned out to be a green flag, ma. Because this person reflects and this person thinks about things. And perhaps what was important was that we gave him time to show who he was beyond one bad moment.
Yep.
Yeah. And we all have bad moments, you know?
Confirm.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
all have
I'm
bad
sure
moments.
I was also rude, to some degree to people that maybe didn't deserve it also. Yeah.
So I actually saw in that Reddit thread also, right, that a person said, this person's view is that at the end of the day, everybody has some degree of mess. Like, so everybody has something in them, right? Or some things that they do that somebody out there will see and say that, wow, that looks like a red flag. And at the end of the day, right, it comes back down to who's like, quote unquote, red flags you're willing to kind of walk through and figure out lah. Yeah, you know, and I think that perhaps is the process of us being in a relationship and going through that process of deciding whether or not this person is a potential long-term partner.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
So on this note, right, do y'all have any stories of maybe, I mean, we're all married now, right? But in your dating phase, were there any moments where what we thought was a red flag in the end turned out to be either a green one or something that you decided that you could live with?
I have.
Wow, very fast.
Yeah. Okay, so currently I'm married to my wife. What's the name? Okay. So initially when we were dating, right, it was not like bed of roses, trees were made of pokey at the start, right? Then eventually there were disagreements and there were like some fights. So my wife is someone who cannot take confrontation very well, right? So when we do argue, when we do fight about certain things, right, I will be very heated. Then I will make my case, right? I will debate in such a way that she will agree with she have to agree with me one.
You corner her with
logic.
logic.
I mean that's
Logic
my red flag.
or you don't
logic.
use
It's logical.
emotions.
I don't use
but you
emotion
corner her
one.
with
It's
the logic,
logical
yeah.
one.
Logically manipulative, got such thing. Okay.
No, not manipulative. He just like until
like-
she cannot cry because he makes sense. Yeah.
So when we fight, right, then the truth is that she is not someone who can process as fast as me. That she will take some time to filter her emotions. That she's someone who's very emotional. So when she feel a certain thing, right, like sometimes when I argue, right, when I debate, I say certain things, right, then she will cry. And she cried not because she was wrong. She cried because of my tone. Then it becomes my fault.
Wait. She cried because of your tone. Then how come now become your fault?
Okay,
'Cause he made her
because
cry,
I
ma.
made her
Rude,
cry
ma.
because I say it in a very nasty way, right? She cannot take it.
Yeah,
Then you don't have to say it that way, that kind of thing.
Become 2-3 issues already because now
Yeah.
he rude.
Then she will take very long to recover from there. And to me, initially, I thought that was a red flag. But what I do realize after I journey with her, after I just like go through the hours of like waiting on her to calm down, and after that talk about it, apologize for my tone, and then get back to the topic, and then to correct all the wrongs, etc. Right? Then eventually she will understand. She would appreciate that conversation. But what really made the whole world of a difference, right, is that every time we fight, right, she grows a little bit in the sense that when she's emotional, she will tell me that I am not angry, but I'm just emotional. I just need a bit more time to get
Wow.
over it.
Very good leh.
Yeah, she like, in a sense, I feel that she emotionally matured a lot in those fights. But what was a green flag eventually, right? The red flag turning into a green flag. I would say it's a golden flag for me, right? That
Golden
made me decide that, okay, I want to marry her, right? Was that every time we fight, she seeks to reconcile as well, even though it takes a lot of time for her.
Yeah.
That she will not want to like, you made me cry, then it's your fault, then case closed. But she's the kind who acknowledge that she struggles emotionally to overcome it, but she is determined to also want to reconcile and to come to a conclusion or consensus that on the topic that we were arguing about lah. So that made me realize that, okay, we may fight a lot, but she is someone who desires reconciliation over winning the argument for the sake of winning. So that made me realize that, okay, even if we have to fight for the rest of our life, right, I know that we are always on the same team, that we will always want to reconcile. And that is a green flag for me.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
Like she cares about the relationship like more than just that thing, whatever that y'all were fighting over.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very cool. Do you have any?
Brian and I are like, I think one area in which we're quite different is the way we approach like ambition, like our drivenness and things like that. Maybe because of the way we grew up and the people that we grew up around. So generally as a person, I'm a bit more like driven. I'm a bit more like I always want to like achieve the next thing, and I cannot like stagnate in my life. Like I will feel very, very like uncomfortable. So I think it also is the thing that generally in society is seen as a good thing, right? You have some drives and you want to always be like improving yourself, growing. But Brian as a person is very chill. Like he's very chill. He's very happy to like live a simple life and then just like do the same thing, eat the same thing every day. And I think because like this was quite a big difference. Like in earlier stages of our relationship, right? It was easy for me to compare and see that as passivity and laziness. Like why do you not want to kind of put in more effort, to have more ambition, to want to achieve more things, to even like, you know, have like a 5-10 year plan for your life and consider where you're headed. In some sense also to like take more ownership of your growth, your career. My mom also, like, not about Brian, but generally she always did say that like, wow, like lazy guys are like a bit dangerous, you know, like it's not good to be with a lazy guy because like they can't provide for you and then you end up having to like take on a lot of the load of providing for your family. You worry a lot and things like that. But my mom as a person is super chongster hustler lah, so I think she has an extra aversion to these kind of people. So I think at the start, like that was kind of something that I was watching out for in our relationship when we were still dating. But eventually, right, I realized that while it is true that naturally I'm a lot more driven and ambitious, and Brian as a person naturally is a bit more laid back, I realized over time, right, that is also why as a person I'm a lot more easily discontented than he is. And as a person, actually he's very like he knows how to be thankful, contented, and I don't think that he is like lazy and removed from life actually. It's not that he doesn't care. It's just that the thing that drives my ambition and my drivenness is that desire for more. You know, more engagement, more achievement, in some sense maybe even more prestige. And that drives me. But because those things don't drive him, it just doesn't come out that way lah. I think what eventually helped me see that it became a green flag, right, was also because I grew and there were some shifts in my values. So if as a person, right, I remain the same and I continue to prioritize that drivenness, that ambition, even if it comes from a place of just always wanting to accumulate more for myself, right, I think I will continue to find an issue with the way he chooses to pace his life. But because along the way, I think some stuff changed in me and I grew to realize that actually it's good to retain some ambition and drivenness, but I don't always need to come from a place where I need more, right? I can learn to be thankful and contented with the things I have in life. Then I begin to appreciate like him being the way he is. And in fact, I feel he grounds me a lot. Like in our marriage, like I have like 10,000 plans, want to do so many different things with my life. Every 5 years I need a new adventure, and like wow, I want to work in this like global organization, do this, save the world and all that. I really like these are the average thoughts that run through my mind when I stay at home on my off day. So like I really like think about all these kind of things. Off day things. Which world can I save today?
How much should I do to do more things?
Where is Thanos? I don't know lah. I mean this is generally how I'm like. And he's not dismissive of my dreams, which is amazing, but he grounds me in reality. So it's not like he squashes my dreams, but he tells me, okay, if this is your dream, how do you get there? What do you do today first? And are you a bit having too many dreams in the same time frame? Maybe you just choose one and then you commit. So things like that. Or even things like you want to dream of like going there to do this thing, you must save money first. Simply, you know. So it's very practical, very grounded.
Never squash, but very practical.
Yeah, which I feel helps me because as a person, I'm a dreamer. I'm all about possibilities and things
Brian
like that.
is a good man.
Yeah, Brian, golden flag will never let you go.
Got golden hair also
Golden
now.
hair, golden flag.
I think before meeting Talon, I was in 2 previous relationships that like ended quite badly. And I think also like when I went online, the online dating app, right? Then I also saw a lot of like different people. Yeah. So I think for me, I was very, very cautious before I let him into my life. So I
Right.
had to make sure that he is like very, very green. Cause I think
You never put rose tinted lens, you put binoculars.
No man, I put like contact lens.
Even one
Telescope.
speck of red, you're like, wow.
Oh, cannot already. Yeah.
Speck
So,
of red.
yeah, but
Just
yeah,
one.
maybe then I also never really show that much grace. But I think, yeah, so that's why, earlier I was saying that I think some people tend to be more cautious because of certain past
Yeah.
experiences. I think I belong to that
Okay.
group of people. And I mean also I see a lot of my friends that like really went through a lot of heartbreak. Yeah, so I mean to be honest, some of it really does like come from fear. But so I literally like there was one dinner, right? I say, okay, I have some questions to ask you which I do not know how to ask in a very natural, organic manner. But is it okay that I still ask you? Then I will
Is
be
he
like,
loading the gun?
yeah, so like I kid you not, I literally say like, do you struggle with any mental illness?
What?
I should know about. Yeah, oh my god, maybe I was a red flag to him, but he was so kind. He really like answered all my questions.
It's like you came with your clipboard and your 10,000 questions
Mental
to check.
clipboard.
Yes, no,
Okay lah,
maybe.
only got 5 questions.
Improvement needed.
5A, 5B, 5C.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I was like maybe I was a bit fearful because I didn't want to like waste time or I think maybe there were certain personality differences for sure. But I think what was the biggest green flag that I saw in Taylor was even though we are very, very different, but I think he always like wants to try. Yeah.
Wow.
And I do see him putting in the effort to try to understand me. I mean, last time he would like say things like, let's say if I'm feeling very sian from work, then I complain to him about it, right? Then after that, usually people will like be also very sian with you. They'll be like, oh man, that sucks, kind of thing. Then he will just tell me, oh, cheer up.
Well, thanks. That's all I needed to hear.
Yeah, I say, go take a shower, you'll feel better. Then I'm like, okay. Yeah. But to me, all these things are a bit more like, I mean, okay lah. I mean, I could have went to. I was like, don't tell me
I'm
to
very
cheer
worried.
up.
Don't worry.
Don't worry.
Thanks.
Don't tell
Be
me to cheer
happy.
up. Do something that will cheer me up. Kind of thing.
You cheer me up. Tell me to cheer up.
Yeah, I become angry after talking to him. But like, okay, like, I feel like these
Poor
kind
guy.
of things, I realize I have very good friends also around me that also help me to understand the mind of a guy. Yeah, then I think it actually our interactions grow me as a person also to understand that differences does not mean red flags, Like, it's
Wow.
more
Yeah.
of like
It's true.
opportunities to then see whether you have the capacity in your heart to, try to understand this person and see the good in those differences also.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my experience.
Yeah. I thought you raised quite an interesting point on like the idea of protecting yourself. And I think that is where this whole idea of red flag comes from also, right? You stay away because you kind of want to protect yourself from trouble, from
Yep.
danger. There's this quote by C.S. Lewis that I really like. So in paraphrase, it says something like, to love at all is to be vulnerable. Because when you love, you put your heart out there. And once you put your heart out there into the hands of another person, he has the power to do whatever he wants with it. Like
Yeah.
he can wring it, he can throw it, he can trample on it. And the alternative to that is to hide your heart in a box and pack that box far away. But when you keep that box in a dark corner within you, right, it becomes like a casket, like a coffin over your heart. And within that coffin, your heart will just stop breathing and it will stop receiving life and it will just die.
Wow.
Yeah. And I thought that that's such an interesting and beautiful picture of what it means to love, because when it comes to relationship, right, I don't think you can ever fully experience like the full beauty of relationship while trying to retain so much of yourself
Protecting
in
yourself.
protection, in self-preservation, and there will always be some element of risk.
Yep.
But maybe that's necessary to also experience love in its fullest beauty.
Yeah.
It's fair.
Yeah. That's so true. Like I feel that then maybe it comes to a point where we just have to decide like even though there are some I don't know whether you want to call it red flags or differences in preferences. whether is it still something that is worth taking that risk for.
Yeah.
A bit like for Wei and Alicia.
Yep.
Yeah.
Once you know the person through and through, you kind of appreciate the person for how beautiful and how flawed the person may be. And then it's someone that you feel that you are willing to live with. It's the mess that you're willing to live with, like what Nata quoted earlier. So I think with that, it makes me acknowledge and realize that we are all imperfect people. Like I confirm got a lot of red flags. I think that acknowledgement humbles us to know that when we do look at people, we are not expecting a perfect person. That there will always be flaws. And it's really about how you are willing to accept those, whether or not there are certain things that are non-negotiables that you want to stay away from, or to non-negotiables that you say that you think that you must have in that person. And these are conversations that are worth having in the relationship.
I realize one other aspect of like navigating this red flags thing, right, is community. You know, because sometimes when you are just kind of evaluating a potential partner on your own, it gets a bit confusing, either because like maybe it's like early stages, overcome with emotion, rose-tinted lenses, whatever it is, or even like, especially in the situation where it could be a bit manipulative, it could be a bit abusive, right? It's very confusing for you to be in a position like that, to wonder like, where's the line and how much is too much. And that's where I feel friends really help, because friends are not as romantically, or they will not be romantically involved with your partner in that way, right? And they can offer some form of like a feedback loop and like objective view of the situation. And then of course it is on us to hopefully find friends who we trust, who love us enough to back us up, speak the truth. But also if really things like crumble, right, they are there to also pick us up and journey with us out of the heartbreak.
Yeah.
Well, I really like our discussion today. I think we covered quite a bit. In summary, maybe if you're in a position where you're kind of figuring out whether or not this person has some red flags, whether it's worth journeying with the person, maybe goes back down to the values you hold, whether you have the capacity to walk through with certain work in progress areas, just as the person commits to walking you through yours. And then also at the end of the day, relying on community, having conversations with our friends to hopefully make some decisions together with some other insight other than our own.
Yeah. You summed it out very well.
Yeah.
So good.
If you missed the TLDR, just watch this 3-second clip. But so with that, right, we have come to the end of our discussion. Thank you for joining us today. We hope that you resonated with some of the things we talked about, and hopefully if we find certain red flags within ourselves, we will also commit to always growing and becoming better people and more mature as we grow older in our 20s and 30s. And so if you like this episode, you can send it to people who you know would appreciate it as well. Subscribe to our channel, like our video, and you can find our content and our accounts on different social platforms. Why don't you tell us about it?
So we are ngl.people on Instagram and TikTok. We also have a Telegram channel where you can join us at NGL People. We show behind the scene footages and updates about new episodes, or even our get-togethers. We have a couple more this year, so look out for that as well.
Yeah, and you can find our episodes on YouTube, Spotify, as well as Apple Podcasts. So thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.